Welcome back to the Zero Generation podcast. I'm excited for this episode with my friend Derrick Oigiagbe. He's the head of product security at Netflix Games, a husband and a father, and a self-professed odogu for a reason. Oga Derrick, like I call him, is the perfect person to talk about the dicey topic that most of us immigrants will have to deal with at some point: black tax. Yeah. Let's get into it without further ado. But of course, we'll start like we always do. What's your zero gen flex? Happy to have you. So excited to have you here, Derrick. There's so much to talk about, so let's just get into it. First and foremost, how we always start is you tell us your zero gen flex. So what you're proud of, something that whenever you think of it, you're like, yeah, now me, I did that. So what's your zero gen flex?
That my school fees is not waste though. No, I say that thing, but you think it's a joke. See, I have 2 little kids. They recently have been sending me daycare bill. You know how much daycare is a month? 1,006, 2,000.
Times 2.
To can do ABC. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Then my son would not come back. And I don't do A to C. I be slappable. And then you don't tell me that you're there. You then tell me that like you have a parent who sends you through like elementary school, primary school, secondary school, university. Think about what they've spent and multiple districts.
Yeah.
My zero gen flex is that my father can wake up and say that this school fees is not waste. I know what it means, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of what it leads to. It's more that like I think the fact that I'm very proud of the fact that I am now at a point in life where I can be a pillar to a number of people around me. And I think, and because my love language is acts of service, that gives me joy, basically. Yeah.
I want to know, you talk about your school fees is not waste. What was little Derrick like? Like, I know what's your position in your family? And I just want to know a little bit about like what growing up was like for you.
Yeah. So growing up for me was very interesting. I think the earliest memory I have of myself, if I'm really being honest, was probably the age 3. And what I remember is very silly. I actually remember being outside my grandmom's house in Asaba in Delta State, eating sand and playing with the cockroach.
Sand!
I swear to God. I'm actually not making this up. And the only reason why I remember this is because I either hear my grandmom running behind me and shouting, or it was the person who stayed with my grandmom who took care of me shouting. I think that was the first time I ever remember someone like smacking me and being like, what are you doing? That was the earliest memory I have. And I say that because I think for the first 2 to 3 years of my life, I lived in Delta State, shuttle between Delta and Lagos. Then my dad and my parents moved to Port Harcourt, and I grew up in Port Harcourt. I lived in a place called Abuloma, then moved to OG. And then from there, lived in Lagos, and then the US after that. But to answer your question, what growing up was like, first of 4 kids, and you know what that means, right? Being there.
I want to know, as the first of 4 kids and as the son, what was that like? How did you realize that this is a special or a different position in the family?
They use it as experiment. They use it as experiment. Because and now that I'm a father, I now understand, right? Like, because you think about like when your parents had you as a kid, they're like in their maybe late 20s, right? You're the first experience they've ever had as a child. So a lot of things that they're going and experiencing with you, things they've never experienced. I'll give a very good example. Like even something as picking what secondary school or boarding school to go to was a whole debate.
Yeah.
Should he be boarding? Should be the day? Learning how to drive, was an issue. Should he learn how to drive, even though live in the house? So I think the first time that I ever learned that being the first kid was a different experience was when I saw that a lot of the things I had to deal with growing up, my siblings didn't have to deal with that, because they were like, oh yeah, we know how it's going to go. So for the next child, it's an easier, path. Yeah.
Do you think firstborn sons are raised differently from the other kids?
Yes, but I think it's very important to keep in mind that it's also a factor of your culture and where you're from. So if you ask me the question of, are firstborn sons raised differently in a typical Nigerian household than the other kid? 100%. If you ask me that in a non-Nigerian, non-African household, I don't know if that would be the same, answer. Because, I mean, from being the firstborn son growing up, they're constantly telling you things like, you're the example of the family. Don't embarrass us. So, small thing like how you act is how your siblings are going to act. Or if your siblings even do something wrong, they're looking at you and saying, it's your fault.
It's your fault. Yeah.
If you did not do it, they won't do it. So, true, 100%. I agree with you on that.
I think it happens for daughters as well. I'm curious a little bit about if there's a difference between how it manifests for firstborn daughters and firstborn sons. But you wouldn't know because you're not a woman. So
yeah, like I can't even speak to that. I was trying to see if I could relate, but I wouldn't be able to.
Okay. Just a little. Let's go a little.
I support feminism, so I can answer that. Just
don't mansplain. Just don't mansplain. Let's just move. But I had one sort of semi-deep question, right? Growing up as the firstborn, who taught you to be strong and who taught you to be soft? Was it the same parent? Was it divided amongst? And was it by like watching or by coaching?
I'll answer it a little bit differently. I feel like my parents both taught me two sides. So I'll give an example. When I look at strength, like I think of strength as presence of mind, presence of self, being able to power through diversity and get things done. You also have the other element of strength of like, I am more of the aggressive person. I can stand for myself. From the presence of mind, presence of self, being calculated and mean to get things done, that was clearly my father, right? Not a guy that talks too much, he doesn't shout, but solution. I remember when I got married, the first thing he told me was, the most important role you have as a man is to be able to solve problems. If you're not able to solve problems, you're not really doing anything. On the more like, you mad? Is it me you're trying that kind of thing? That's my mom. And that was by virtue of the businesses she did, the things she did. She had to have that strong external, persona to be able to address some of the biases that come with a woman who was in business in that space. Now, softness too is the inverse, right? Because my mom being a woman, I noticed what softness is, like, being like how she showed. I also learned that too from my dad too as well, in the way he approached certain things in life too as well. So I would say both parents equally taught me those elements, and each had a part in each of those dynamics.
Yeah. I love that. And I've met your mom. She's a very strong woman. Yeah. Your dad too is strong, but he's chill. He's the funny guy. He's the one who cracks jokes with us and laughs and all of that. So I can see that dynamic, and it sounds very balanced. Yeah. So let's go to the listener question.
Let me sip my tea.
For wisdom, because you need it for this.
My tea.
Hi, dummy. Please help me settle something before I block my entire nuclear and extended family.
Is it like what is to do? I said, problem. Guess problem. I've been wanting to be solve people's problems.
Sit down well. So this person wants to block their entire nuclear and extended family. Since I relocated to Toronto and got a job at a Big 4 tax consulting firm, I suddenly became the unofficial central bank of my lineage.
Let work.
School fees, I would pay. Rent, na me. Random bills, I should just send small change. Even weddings and funerals of people I barely speak to, somehow, just wow, my name enters the group chat. My question is, how do I carry this first to Japa badge of honor without turning into a full-time side hustle called Black Tax Limited? Because at this point, I'm not sure if I'm an immigrant or a remittance machine.
But Kuku just go join Remity. Remity be efficient.
Just long time. So yeah, but it's a real issue. This is a real issue. And this person called, I'm assuming it's a woman. But it might not be, this black tax or this burden of being the person who left and now having to support the people who stayed.
I'm sure I should say this person they flex for Instagram now. Why? The village people. And the village people attract her down. If she was not flexing, would they ask if they don't see me?
Oh, I'm in a Big 4 tax concern.
Exactly. Well, when they ask you, what's your name? Hi, my name is A. I work in Big 4. Yeah, you have saying what the Big 4. That Big 4 the account. No, but see, the interesting thing about this problem is, Actually, so this is the funny thing. It's only a problem if you don't have. It's only a problem if you're not mentally strong and if you don't put strong guardrails in place. And there's also a factor of favor too. So I'll give you an example. I can make this claim that, oh, I'm in a situation where I constantly like have to do things. But I also know that the people who surround me protect me, right? Why is your name showing up in random group chat that's outside of your mom, your dad, and siblings? That means somebody in your inner circle is not taking the action of protecting who you are, right? So the problem is really the relationship dynamic that you have with your parents. So, and then secondly too is also I had this thought in my mind and I'm blanking out on it. It's how do I say this in easier form? You have to be comfortable saying no. And you have to also be comfortable being clear on why you're saying no. Because sometimes when you say no and you tell people why you're saying no, they sometimes can't even argue with you. Right? If I tell you that, oh Bobs, well, I know if you run you that $1,000 because I have to pay my son's school fees this month, or I have to pay my mortgage this month, and I just don't have it. And in the past, when I've had it, I've given it to you. So why would you think different? They can say what they want to say, but even deep down, they understand. So I think the question I ask myself is, one, the people you surround yourself with, your family, are they actually taking active steps to protect you? Because I totally understand your mom, your dad, your siblings, stop being, but when you start getting into family, this means that someone is throwing your information out there. But then the second thing too is, sis, say no.
Yeah,
let the hell fall. What will happen?
That was my main thought. I think, and why I think I also thought this was a woman was that I think women struggle to say no, or to be seen as the villain, or to be seen as, you want to be liked, you want to help, you want to be seen as helping, so you don't want to say no, and so you're now in this situation where everyone is taking advantage of that. And I think, like you said, you have to exercise your no.
But now the one level deeper to this, so I also ask people too, is why do you want to be liked? Is there an ego that is feeding?
That's therapy. That's therapy.
No, because think about it now. Of all the people who are messaging you and disturbing you, how many of them have had an impact in your life? I'm willing to bet that the ones who are probably even stressing you the most are the ones who are at zero impact.
Absolutely.
So what has given them the sense of entitlement? Right? It's because you probably also want to feel like, you're Superman too. So sometimes, in as much as it's even an outward problem, it's also sometimes an inward problem in your own self.
Absolutely.
Because you might say no, and they might not even think of you as a villain. You're the one who is maybe thinking that they're thinking of you as a villain, putting stress upon your own life.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
You're right. So yeah, I hope this person learns how to say no.
Let's disconnect their Instagram and Snapchat.
You are so sure.
I swear.
You are so sure that this person is boiling up.
Every Saturday I do oblate. That one that Azu. Because if you know that, what will give you Azu problem?
Can you flex without camping?
Do close friends. Basically.
Fair. So, I mean, bringing it home a little bit. Right? Yeah. Have you ever felt resentful of having to help someone who reached out to you and they were latching on to the fact that maybe they're a distant friend or relative or,
That's not even the... Actually, so I can even talk about it on even the funniest friend. So, first of all, I said I the one thing that I am very lucky and blessed with, and is the fact that the people who surround me protect me. Every time I've gotten into a situation where there has been people who I feel are feeling entitled or going aggressively out to ask for things they don't deserve, I mean, people that I've actually exposed myself to. You won't believe the wildest one. The wildest one is even actually my mother's former driver. I swear to God. This just happened recently. So, because obviously when I go to Nigeria, right, like, I go to Nigeria, I get a car, I get one driver to follow me around, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So obviously,
but low-key, you're also oblate.
And I cause problem, right? Because we'll go out, he'll be with me, and I don't like doing that thing where, like, you go out with a chauffeur and you keep in the car, he will come in with me, and like, I'll make anything kind of thing. So a certain level of familiarity, you get what I'm saying, that happened. And, I would leave and you'll be like, bro, I need this for my child's school fees. No problem, I do it. I need this for my wife's business. No problem, I do it. I need this, blah, blah. How much, whatever, like I do it. And then I was coming back this trip and he goes like, oh, when you come, I'm going to be the one carrying around and everything. So I reach out to the family. I'm like, yo, I'm going to need this guy to him. And they go like, well, he hasn't been working with us for months. And he didn't tell me that. And I go like, okay, and they go like, well, he hasn't even reached out to any of us. So why is he talking to you, directly? So at that point, I kind of decided I was going to like just back off. And from just back off, I started getting weird texts like, oh, so you stopped responding. Oh, the thing I asked you to bring, you're not bringing it. Oh, like it just went from please, please, please to like a how dare you, how dare you blank. And it was such a very weird thing because I never really saw that from that. Obviously, I haven't responded to the guy. I'm just like, whatever, I don't really care what comes out of it. So to answer your question, have I ever felt angry or resentful? I've realized that the resentment comes from when I go out of my way to do things for people who I feel have not earned it.
Yeah.
And then I expect a certain level of gratitude that they don't now bring. And I think it's that gratitude part that drives that, that resentment. Yeah,
yeah, that's insightful. That's actually an insight there because it's the expectation of gratitude that then brings the resentment because you're not like, this person, you didn't earn it, so I wanted
you to earn it. So why are you not feeling exactly
entitled, or you're not even coming back to say thank you? I think it's a real thing. I think even, to be honest, some people feel the resentful of even their nuclear family.
Yeah.
And it's legit. And I think going back to what you had said earlier, it's like really thinking about like, I need to say no. I need to establish a boundary and communicate like why.
Yeah.
This is not something I can do at this time.
Yeah.
And then the rest, just work it out with your therapist.
I know you have questions, but I want to actually go into this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then feel free to bring me back if it goes, of course. You see, I think it's very important I make this point. The reason why I keep emphasizing on being protected by family, right? And why for me with family, especially nuclear family, I don't stress too much. It's because a mixture of, one, I know what life was before now. I know the sacrifices that were made before now. And I also see the impact of the help given, right? And also see the heightened gratitude shown. And the gratitude is not even from a thing of thanks. It's from how they even try to. It's like that Bible verse where I give the servant one lot and they bring two lot, and you're like, oh my God! And they even out of the two lot, they even want to give you 0.5 and say, see what we've done, though. And you're like, no, be like, no, see what you've done. Because like when I was born, right? Like I was born when my dad was still trying to figure things out. By the time my sister and my brother came, we were like very, very well off. Like and very, very well. I mean, like to be able to send your kids abroad to school and everything, you can imagine what that was like. And when we're walking in here, I told you about the famous 2015 and how 2015 ruined a lot of families when dollar went from like 190 to whatever, right? That kind of thing. And knowing all those sacrifices that were made before that time, sometimes I find it very hard to be in a position of helping and not being able to help. Because when those investments and sacrifices were made, they shouldn't, like it was out of their own free. So who am I now not to be able to, at least show some return in that? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you patch that with the gratitude being shown, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. Because you made me remember, we're talking about it and I talked about 2015 as well. Yeah. And that year I crossed over from public policy to business school.
Yeah.
And I remember reaching out to my dad and saying, oh, my rent has increased because obviously as business school, you got moved to the downtown.
Of course, yeah.
And everything. And every month my dad would send me, he'll call me and say, okay, I've sent your rent. And there was 1 month where he was like, all right, he went to liquidate his life insurance.
Can you imagine?
And yeah, and for me, I always remember that. Because I'm like, I was about to say, it's not that deep. Life is, I'm like,
imagine you could do your own life insurance right now. For picking when you might even born.
Do you understand? Like, so for me, I always remember, and I'm like, there's no price you can put on that unless it's the exact same thing where I go and pay my insurance.
Yeah.
So thank you for making me remember that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's pivot a little to corporate America, because you're also an odogu in corporate.
Lies have been told.
Corporate.
Lies have been told as I sip my tea that is not tea.
As you said, we met at Amazon, but then it's so funny because all of us we've left.
The trauma of Amazon.
Yeah. So what surprised you the most, or what surprised you when you first? What was your first time when you remember that when you started working in corporate America? You were like,
So obviously, before moving to Seattle, I'd been in corporate America for a while. I'm not calling it, maybe a couple of years. I think the biggest thing that has surprised me in corporate America and continues to surprise me is how much of your success is tied to people liking you versus your competence. It is wild.
It's actually,
and it's funny because the higher you go in seniority, the more that becomes a significant, factor. And I even see myself subconsciously even doing that, where, like, let's say I'm trying to hire someone or whatever, I'm like, I go, okay, they're great, but do I want to work with this person, or do I like? And I don't know. I'll be like, wait, why am I even thinking that? Like, it's such a critical thing that I feel people underestimate. I think that's the biggest thing that surprised me, because it was no longer, do you know 1 + 1 = 2? It's like, yes, no 1 + 1 is equals to 2, but can you actually work with someone and make them like you enough to actually listen to you say 1 + 1 is equals to 2, basically.
I absolutely, like, even me, as I've gotten more senior and like now, like, having a team and all of that, like, you really have to stop yourself from gravitating towards the people that naturally you're similar and you would be friends with outside of the office. And I wonder if it's a corporate America thing, or it's just a corporate thing overall. I didn't like rise too high in Nigeria, so I can't really say, but I wonder.
I think it's a corporate thing overall, and the reason why I say that is because so obviously in recent years I've been exploring like what business could look like in Nigeria, and talking to a few people. Whenever I go back, I explore, and you see it show itself in common signs where, let's say you're having like dinners with people, and like with like someone who's like a director or CEO or whatever, and the person he will bring to the dinner is the PA he likes, or the account manager he likes, or whatever he likes. And so in my mind, I'll be talking, I'll be like, okay. And then I'll go into the office, or I'll go visit them in their office, and there'll be other people who are higher than that person who are talking to the boss, but the person who has the context is the person below them. So I'm like, so I even see that kind of behavior happen. So I think it's a general corporate thing. I think the reason why I was more surprised in America is because in Nigeria, you kind of expect that to happen because our rules of engagement are very blurry.
Yeah.
But in America, that is very like structured. This is how you do things, blah, blah, blah. Seeing how that sentimental element rises to the top of importance. It's like, but I thought you guys are very structured now.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's a real scam.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe because some of those cultural rules are not legible to us initially.
True.
So like Nigeria, okay, like, I'm watching out for tribalism, I'm watching out for sexism, I want to know, like, what university did you go to? Those kind of things, like, what secondary school did you go to? You can't tell. So people, when people are like doing that algorithm thing in their mind. But then in America, you come in thinking, it's going to be like Hollywood. They're going to just be like, the smartest.
Holy fire.
But it's really, it is surprised and continues to surprise me how much being liked just helps you move forward in your career. It is, it's a whole, that's a whole other episode. Pivoting again.
All these pivots.
So you are a self-proclaimed diva.
Because first of all,
yes or no?
I came on this set, no M&Ms.
No M&Ms.
I had to go and bring, even the whiskey self, you don't even bring out for bottle. So but you can see I'm
tea, Derrick, tea.
Sorry, the tea.
The tea.
Even the tea. They now bring it in the tea bag. I'm not a diva.
Okay, what when are you at your most, or what's a request you've made at your highest diva moment?
No, I can tell you the request I wish to make.
Okay.
When I
go
blow.
ahead. Go ahead. When you blow more than
Two
this.
things. If I blow, let's say like heavy block, anytime I can. Let's say talking billions. First thing I'll do is I'll change my middle name to D4X. Or another option is direct transfer. So it will be Ogbede, direct transfer, or Oigiagbe. First, then I want to go into a restaurant. and be like, I don't want to breathe the same way with you. You just click. Just click. I mean, to be very honest, I'm pretty reasonable. I can't think of. Oh, I think I've thought about one stupid one I did. There's a time when like I used to want to enjoy moving in like comfort. This is very ridiculous.
This is very you too. This is also very you.
I made them bring 3 cars. I can go. The other 2 cars were empty. There was not even Bopoli there.
Please.
One car in front, me in the middle.
What's in Lagos?
Nobody knows me.
But this is so you, like
Nobody.
this is so
Of all places, Lagos, where nobody gives 2.
What's the word? Magodo. Please don't kill me. Not Magodo.
And my anger was that the car in front did not have siren.
Not Magodo, Derrick.
But I think that was probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. But
should have at least made it to third mainland.
they needed the car back home.
I can. Okay. So complete this sentence. I'm not dramatic. I'm just
expressive.
Okay, I'm just expensive. Ooh, this is going to be this. I love this. That's going to be a classic one. I'm just expensive. Okay. What's one bougie thing that you refuse to apologize for?
Expressing how much I love very old aged whiskeys. I actually have a 31-year bottle in my cabinet that anybody that comes to my house that likes whiskey, I just drag them, come and see.
Come and see. Come and taste.
No, come and see first. You have to first see. Then if I not like you will not taste it. And my wife thinks it's the most ridiculous thing.
I'm sure.
Because she's like, I don't even want to get it. Right?
She's quiet wealth. Like she's quiet.
Exactly. And then she comes from a family where they really know like good whiskey. Yeah. So she's probably looking at me like, who is this?
This boy just
just came across.
Just one blow.
And I think as if he's the champion of.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Cool. So we're gonna play a game.
Okay.
Nigeria or abroad?
Where I want to live long term?
No, but I'll just be asking you different questions and tell me whether
I justify it.
No. So I'll ask you a question, and then you tell me whether you prefer to experience that in Nigeria or
okay.
And you can also even be specific.
Gotcha. I understand the context now.
Yeah. So where does your fashion sense hit better? Is it when you're in Nigeria or when you're in another country?
I feel like when I'm in America because competition is less.
Tell me. So what kind of fashion choices would you make in America that you wouldn't make in Nigeria?
In America, I would lean a little bit more British. Like, for example, like wearing this, right? Like it's like an open palm loafer, right? Like if I wear this in Nigeria, everyone's like, okay, it's because but wearing it, if you look around, there's probably nobody wearing it. Not because they can't get it, but it's probably not the top of mind thing, right? So it allows you to stand out a little bit more. So I would say probably America just because dressing it to be more British with the flair of Nigerian in it kind of makes you stand out a little bit more. Whereas in Nigeria, everyone is, especially that Lagos, every day is fashion show.
Where do you come across as more of a diva?
A diva? I don't know if I don't know. I will lean more towards maybe Nigeria.
Because you have access to...
You have access to certain things, right? Like there's certain... I mean, you know how it is in Nigeria. Like how you act and how you show is how you want to be, is how you be addressed, right?
Yeah.
Like, wear singlet and short dick and enter a restaurant. When the bouncer will slap you. but like I remember like my sister just got married, and at the end of the wedding, I just remembered like they had like I had like this 25-year-old bottle of whiskey and they had stolen it. And
from the wedding venue?
Yeah, like the cleaner
wow.
wedding. So I got angry and I started shouting, like, why this thing? They always my diva. I say, lock the door. When you say they lock the door.
You guys need to know that Derrick is one of my most dramatic.
The why I say, my friend, lock the door. Bounce, I say, God, based on who you
were
be.
they guests or
no? The
people are gone.
People are there. So towards the end, it was like maybe like 30 people left or 20 people left.
Right.
So
this bottle was already.
Yeah, I brought it out. I was supposed to give it to my brother-in-law, like as a gift. And I just like, like, well, over the Nigerian, who thief my whiskey? Lock the door, blah, blah. I know you the baritone voice there. Everyone's even the bouncers, the security, they locked the door. Everyone started saying, oh God, they find the whiskey. Oh God, they find the whiskey.
Oh God.
I did there with my this thing. This thing must come out in 10 minutes. Everything will burn. You know,
What were you telling yourself inside as you were making all this noise?
I tell myself, make that bastard open that door. Because if he opens the door, I can't call the people. I had to bust the illusion of strength,
authority.
of bravado. I'm not making this thing up. This thing came out.
It came out. Wow.
If after this call my wife, call my brother-in-law, call my friends, it came out. Like, it's such a because of just the audacity and the authority in which you say, which I would say maybe I divert them, because like, what gives me authority over these people? Really nothing, if I'm really being honest.
Yeah.
But it's just the believe
that be something.
you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Where do you feel more respected as a tech bro? Nigeria or San Francisco? Oh no, LA / Seattle.
Yeah. You know, funny enough, I feel more respect as a tech bro here, but that's mostly because outside of America, I don't really lead with who I am or what I do, and that was because of an experience I had in Pittsburgh, where when I started my career early, I remember going to like a nonprofit event and noticing that. And one guy walked up to me and told me that he's a very famous guy back in Pittsburgh. He was telling me that like he wants to leave, and I asked him why. He goes like, because he feels people here are very like super fake. And I go like, why? He goes like, notice, everyone who comes and says hi to you, are gonna ask you two things. Hi, my name is this. What's your name? And what do you do? And that was the first time I noticed. I am not making up, like literally 12 people in the order literally were asking me. Before they asked any other question, it was, what do you do? And if what you do is not interesting, they like just turn around and walk around. And so I kind of how I am. I actually struggle to be like, oh, I work in blah, or I do this, or I just don't do any of that. Probably has cost me a lot. I probably should put myself a lot more out there. Yeah. But in America more because people around me know, so they talk about it. But in Nigeria, no one really knows, so I don't really say.
So do you like even consciously just say something else, like, oh, I just work in tech?
No, I say I'm people's personal assistant. it's actually funny. Like I need to, like I'll be like I'm a personal assistant, but with someone who's might be like I'm a personal assistant, let me help you on your back. Like then it's after like the pro, then I go like, okay. Yeah. And I only would say it if I feel like saying it adds value to the conversation.
I want to talk a little bit about fatherhood and husbandry, but you just reminded me of a request I want to make publicly.
Which one?
Derrick, please submit my resume to Wike's band. I want to take a sabbatical and join Governor Wike's marching band.
You know what's so funny, yeah? What's so funny? First of all, is you know who to ask. It's not me.
It's not you. I don't know anybody.
You know who to ask. It's not me. But I remember I was in so funny you said this. I was in Port Harcourt one time, and my wife's brother had started this like really interesting business, like a very good whiskey bar and cigar lounge, and I think it's Cass Drink Shop. I probably share it on your Instagram for those who are in Nigeria. And I walk in there one time and I see somebody there, like he's just sitting down there. He has like, I'll say maybe like two women who I think are backup dancers with him. He's feeling really fly. So I walk in, so my regular goes like, that's Bamidele. I said, senior man, how far? He goes like, yeah, my name is Bamidele. I think he calls himself the Sweet Angel or the Sweet Angel voice. And I go, Oga's band mic. See the way he said it with pride. Yes, not me.
Bamidele, please, Bamidele, I want to join your band. You people, you are talented, you are brilliant. I want to join.
And the way they make up the songs,
my resume.
The way they make up the songs on the spot. It's crazy.
And I'm not joking. I mean, of course it's a joke, but I think they're very
creative.
It's very creative. And they also have this chemistry amongst themselves and with their master that like, they just know.
But I actually heard that there's on that guy who seconds for him when he's not around, and there's like a rivalry between both.
Oh my God. We need to bring the two of them on this podcast.
If you have an event that you hire them, that like it's never a dull moment.
No tech. Even when I have my first chance, 10-year-old baby.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk a little bit about fatherhood as we start to close, and being.
We're closing.
We are.
Wow. That was fast.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say.
Don't worry, you'll come back. We'll bring you back. Is that okay? Will you come back to talk about?
I have to write it on paper.
We'll sign contract.
I'll write it on paper.
So where does fatherhood? How has fatherhood maybe softened you or made you stronger even?
Two ways actually. I think I know for sure. The fatherhood adds an additional dimension to the meaning of what love is. Because you have kids who can fend for themselves, who don't really know right from wrong, who are just existing, and no matter what they do, you have to approach it from the state of, I love this person, and I have to do what I can do to make life better for the person. So even if they do something that's annoying to you, it's like, I love this person, I know they don't mean it, so I need to help them know better, right? And it gives a certain level of patience and a certain level of depth to love.
Yeah.
Being stronger is that it adds a certain dimension to responsibility.
Yeah.
Because you now realize that you are no longer just living for yourself. You are living for multiple, people. And a certain level of strength and calmness and centeredness that you have to have, right? Where things might happen to you and you can't just react, because you're asking yourself, my reaction, what impact would that have? Or how can I be present to ensure that I'm leading to the good outcome for everyone?
Yeah. If your kids watch this episode in 20 years, if it's our highest, the video with the highest count, or whatever they call that thing, what if they watch this in 20 years, what would you want them to hear? What would you want them to focus on?
I would want them to, and this kind of tying back to what I tried to explain in the beginning with like understanding the sacrifices that my parents had, and that being a driver for me not being concerned, overwhelmed with black tax. So obviously there's the element that they protect me, there's the element that they're grateful, that also makes it kind of easy. I would want my children to understand I want them to learn to be appreciative. I want them to not be entitled. But more importantly, I want them to understand that the impact that they have on people says a lot about them, and than anything else they can actually do. Because I think the impact that my parents had on me, the sacrifice that they had on me, is so embedded in me that no matter what happens, I feel that need to make sure that their investments does not go away. Hence the reason why I say I'm happy that their school fees is not going lost, right? And a certain level, and it also dictates how I act, because now I understand the impact of the importance of having an impact in people's life. A good friend of mine always has this very famous story, which is like, there are certain problems people should not have because they know you. So it goes like, if someone says that I know Obede, what does that mean for them, right? Does that mean I have someone strong in my corner? Does that mean I have a problem solver in my corner? Does that mean I have someone who is a support system? What does that mean? And if people say that they know you and it doesn't mean anything, then you need to ask yourself very deep questions as to who you are and what impact you have on people's life, basically. Yeah.
What does it mean when you know me?
That I know you.
Yeah, because now you're making me think about my life.
I'll tell you as I do.
All right. Thank you so much, Derrick. This has been so fun. I feel like we should have a longer episode or another episode where you come and you share your wisdom and your insights and your humor. But above all, wisdom is on that, because you're a firstborn son. So is your inheritance.
Don't worry, my people will talk to you. Send me invoice.
Okay.
We'll sign red line. No, but seriously,
we can't afford you.
Don't worry. Don't look yourself less. No, but in all seriously, thank you for having me. I think this was very 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 fun. I think more importantly, I'm very proud of you, Dami.
Thank you.
No, in all sincerity, knowing you from years and kind of knowing what your interest and passion is, this makes perfect sense. This makes perfect sense that you're expressing yourself this way. So really, really proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Also.
Thank you.
Also.
Until next time, thanks everyone for joining.